What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Performance Vault. Today we're looking at 10 of Michael Caine's most inspiring performances. For more than 6 decades, Michael Caine has been showcasing his versatility and talent in a wide range of roles. Whether he was stealing scenes in classic British crime films, winning Oscars, or becoming the heart of blockbuster franchises, Caine always delivered inspiring performances. Be sure to stick around until the end for some honorable mentions that absolutely deserve their spotlight. And go ahead and let us know your favorites down in the comments below. Let's get into it. Number 1. Zulu. In the 1964 movie Zulu, directed by Cy Enfield, Michael Caine delivers the performance that kickstarts his career. The film tells the story of the 1879 Battle of Rorke's Drift, where about 150 British soldiers bravely defended a mission station in South Africa against nearly 4,000 Zulu warriors. Originally, Caine was up for the role of Private Henry Hook, but his path shifted when Enfield saw something special in him. Even though Caine was known for his working-class Cockney accent, the director offered him the part of Lieutenant Gonville Bromhead instead. Bromhead was an upper-class officer, far removed from Caine's own roots, and the decision to cast him shocked many in the industry.
Now, don't tell me. I suppose you have seniority. 1872, May.
Caine, whose real name is Maurice Joseph Micklewhite, grew up in Rotherhithe, South London, and had spent over a decade working small roles in theater and TV, hoping for his big break. Early in his career, many people doubted Michael Caine because of his Cockney accent. Some even said that he could never be a leading man, but in Zulu, he surprised everyone by becoming the perfect Bromhead. He played the character as a calm officer who showed unexpected courage and honor as the story went on. With his strong performance, Caine proved that he could take on upper-class roles, even though he came from a working-class background.
Fall them in. Call the roll.
Sir. Dissection.
Well, you did it.
Me.
The film itself was a hit, performing strongly on a modest budget of about £667,000. It also brought Caine his first major recognition in both British and American cinema. Within 2 years, he would star in a major British production as a leading man. Though some people have questioned how the movie shows history and the Zulu warriors, there's no doubt that Caine's performance was impressive. Number 2. Alfie. The 1966 movie Alfie, directed by Lewis Gilbert, was the one that turned Michael Caine into an international star. Caine played Alfie Elkins, a young chauffeur in 1960s London. Alfie was charming, but he cared only about himself and loved to win over women. Now, what made this film special was how Alfie talked directly to the camera and shared his thoughts with the audience. At first, his funny words made him seem likable, but as the story went on, you started to see the cracks in his character. Deep down, there was something much darker and emptier about him. This style, adapted from Bill Naughton's stage play, was unusual at the time, and it completely relied on Caine's ability to connect with viewers.
What she don't know is we won't be seeing much more of her. She's on her way out. When a married woman gets too hot on...
Caine's charm and natural style made the fourth wall breaks where Alfie speaks directly to the audience feel effortless. If this had been done by anybody else, it could have felt awkward, but with Caine, it worked perfectly. Adding to the movie's charm was the title song, written by Burt Bacharach. Cher sang the song for its US release, while Millicent Martin performed it in the UK, and it became a lasting part of the film's legacy. Created on a small budget of about $500,000, Alfie was a huge hit worldwide. It would bring Caine his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, though he did not win it that year.
Do you know, I'm beginning to think she was beautiful. After all, it ain't through the eyes that you feel beauty.
Overall, the film was a big moment in Caine's career. A remake starring Jude Law came out in 2004, but it didn't have the same impact. Caine's performance as Alfie is still seen as the best. Number 3. The Italian Job. Directed by Peter Collinson, The Italian Job is one of the most iconic British heist comedies of all time. Released in 1969, the movie captured the spirit of 60s British cinema in a way few films have since. Michael Caine played Charlie Croker, a London crook who leads a gold heist in Turin, Italy. His plan included hacking traffic lights and thrilling Mini Cooper car chases through the city's narrow streets and even its sewers. The iconic red, white, and blue Minis became unforgettable symbols of the film. Now the story ends on a cliffhanger, with the gang's bus teetering over the edge of a cliff as Croker delivers the famous line, "Hang on, lads, I've got a great idea." Caine portrayed Croker as a confident and quick-thinking leader with natural charm. He used his humor to handle tense situations. Croker was ambitious but imperfect. He delivered lines that became important moments in the film, especially the timeless, "You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off." That single line is among the most quoted in British cinema.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
The Italian Job was a big success in the UK, and it became an important part of British culture. In the US, it was less popular at first, but over time, the film became a global classic. Michael Caine's acting was a big reason for this. The musical score by Quincy Jones, especially the cheeky Self-Preservation Society theme, added to the movie's unique charm. Number 4. The Cold Side, Get Carter. Mike Hodges' film Get Carter shows a very different side of Michael Caine. It's not the warm, charming character many associate with him. Instead, he plays Jack Carter, a tough London gangster. Carter heads back to his hometown, Newcastle, to find out the truth about his brother's mysterious death. He discovers a hidden world of crime involving corrupt businesses and terrible secrets about his own family.
Margaret, why the hell aren't you here?
Carter isn't like your typical crime movie character. He's smart and speaks with purpose, but he's also violent and emotionally shut off, only showing flashes of anger when it counts most. Caine once said that Carter is the closest character to who he might have been if his life had gone differently. That makes his performance feel even more real. This dark movie was filmed on the real streets and neighborhoods of Newcastle, giving it a raw and authentic feel.
Strawberry Fair.
When Get Carter first came out in 1971, some critics didn't like how violent it was. Others, especially in America, praised it. But over time, people began seeing it as one of the best British crime movies ever made. The 2000 remake with Sylvester Stallone didn't come close to capturing the original's power. Number 5. Educating Rita. Educating Rita brought Michael Caine and director Lewis Gilbert back together nearly 20 years after their first work on Alfie. This time, Caine takes on the role of Frank Bryant, a once talented poet who had fallen into a life of heavy drinking and bitterness. Frank works as a university professor in Liverpool, but his passion for teaching and writing has faded. That is until he meets Rita White, a working-class hairdresser who wants to earn a degree through the Open University. The movie was written by Willie Russell, adapted from his own stage play. Most of the film revolves around just two characters, Frank and Rita, played by Caine and Julie Walters. At first, Caine dismisses Rita as just another unqualified student, but she's smart, curious, and determined to learn. Over time, her energy and love for literature start to bring some life back into Frank's dull existence. However, as Rita grows more independent and confident, the dynamic between them starts to change.
One day, my wife explained to me that for the past 15 years, my output as a poet had dealt entirely.
Caine's performance as Frank Bryant stands out because of how real and layered it feels. Frank isn't the confident man Caine often played before. Instead, he's tired, upset, and fighting his own struggles. To play this role, Caine had made big changes to his appearance. He put on almost 30 pounds and grew out his hair. His performance would show how Frank slowly changes, going from a lonely man to someone who finds hope and inspiration through Rita.
I just wanted to tell someone who'd understand.
Rita, I am honored that you chose me.
The movie received plenty of awards and recognition. Caine had won a BAFTA and a Golden Globe for this role, though he lost the Academy Award for Best Actor to Robert Duvall in Tender Mercies. Julie Walters was also highly praised for her role as Rita. She earned a nomination for Best Actress and won her own BAFTA award for the performance. While Educating Rita wasn't a big box office success at the time, its reputation has grown a lot over the years. Today, it is considered one of the best British films of the 1980s. Number 6. Hannah and Her Sisters. The 1986 drama Hannah and Her Sisters brought Caine his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Directed by Woody Allen, the film is a brilliant story that brings together the complicated and personal relationships of one family. Caine would play Elliot, a man married to Hannah, portrayed by Mia Farrow. Over time, Elliot becomes involved in this affair with Hannah's younger sister, Lee, played by Barbara Hershey. The role demanded a delicate balance. Caine's performance shines, especially in the way he uses voiceovers to expose Elliot's inner struggles. His voice reveals more than the words themselves.
How about you?
Well, I live...
Oh, yeah. You live near
Yes,
here?
I do.
Where are you headed?
Oh, I was just going to my
Interestingly, Caine was hesitant to take the role initially. Woody Allen's unorthodox directing style, which required minimal rehearsal and encouraged actors to arrive fully prepared, was unfamiliar to him. However, this approach ultimately brought out one of Caine's most memorable performances. His ability to play Elliot as a man debating with himself in real time added layers to the character.
You've been very cold to me tonight.
No.
Is something wrong?
When Caine won the Oscar for the role, his acceptance was anything but ordinary. He wasn't at the 1987 ceremony because he was in the Bahamas filming Jaws, The Revenge, a movie he later joked about with good humor. Even with the strange timing, this was a huge moment in Caine's career as it marked his first of 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor. Number 7. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. In 1988, Michael Caine takes on the role that showcases his comic brilliance in the film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Directed by Frank Oz, this comedy paired Caine with Steve Martin. The movie is a remake of the '64 classic bedtime story, but this time the story is set on the beautiful French Riviera. Caine plays Lawrence Jameson, a refined British con artist with a clever scheme to swindle wealthy women out of their money in a Mediterranean town. Things get interesting when Steve Martin's character, Freddie Benson, a brash American hustler, arrives in town. Their rivalry leads to a hilarious battle as they compete to outsmart each other.
Suppose we try this. We find a woman, set a price, and the first man to extract the correct amount from her.
Caine plays the serious character, while Martin brings in that wild humor. Together they have an amazing chemistry on screen. One famous scene has Caine teaching Martin's Freddie to act as a silly character called Ruprecht the Monkey Boy. Martin does crazy things, but Caine stays calm and serious, which makes it even funnier. The movie itself was a financial hit. It grossed about $42 million at the box office and later became a cult classic. Everyone loved the film for its clever humor, unique characters, and Caine's amazing performance. His Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical highlighted just how much his work was appreciated.
Any feelings there?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels remains an important moment in Michael Caine's career. He even called it the funniest movie he'd ever made and talked about how much fun he had working on it. The movie was a great example of comedy done right. And one review described Caine as a sneaky master of the pregnant reaction shot. Number 8. The Cider House Rules. Directed by Lasse Hallström, The Cider House Rules is adapted by John Irving from his own 1985 novel. Caine surprised everyone with his role as Dr. Wilbur Larch, a complex and deeply emotional character. Larch ran a Maine orphanage in the 1940s and performed abortions, something that was illegal at the time. He took on this harsh responsibility out of necessity, helping women who had nowhere else to turn.
You are a skilled and gifted surgeon with near-perfect obstetrical and gynecological procedure.
Caine's performance in this role was so great that it won him his second Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. But getting there wasn't easy. Born and raised in England, he had to take on an American Maine accent for this role, something he had never done before. To get it right, he worked with a dialect coach and stayed in character even when the cameras weren't rolling. Caine later shared that learning the accent was one of the toughest challenges he'd faced in his career. Caine would show the heavy weight this character carried, a man doing the difficult work that no one else would do, because it was simply necessary. The relationship between Larch and Homer, the young orphan Larch raised and trained to follow in his footsteps, gave the movie its emotional tone.
Let us be happy for Dr. Larch. Dr. Larch has found a family. Good night, Dr. Larch.
Near the end of the movie, Larch's final letter to Homer is read aloud. He writes, "Good night, you princes of Maine, you kings of New England," a line that has since become iconic. This emotional moment is a perfect example of the storytelling that made the film such a big success. It earned $88 million and was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Out of the entire cast, Caine was the only one to win an Oscar. Number 9. The Dark Knight Trilogy. The Dark Knight Trilogy by Christopher Nolan brought Michael Caine back into the spotlight in a way no one expected. This iconic trilogy gave him a chance to connect with a whole new generation of viewers who might have not seen his legendary work from the 60s and 70s. Caine played Alfred Pennyworth, the faithful butler and protector of Bruce Wayne, in all 3 movies: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Nolan worked to give Alfred a deeper role than in any previous Batman films. Instead of just a servant, Alfred became a father figure to Bruce.
A long time ago, I was in Burma. My friends and I were working for the local government.
Nolan crafted moments that gave Caine the stage to shine. In one scene, you can see Alfred delivering a famous monologue about a bandit he tracked in Burma, a man who, Alfred says, just wanted to watch the world burn. This 90-second monologue, done in one continuous take, is a masterclass in acting. It shows Alfred's wisdom, his dark experiences, and his dedication to Bruce. The final film, The Dark Knight Rises, gave Alfred his biggest role yet. One of the most emotional moments in the film, and maybe even the whole series, is the funeral scene at Bruce Wayne's memorial. Alfred breaks down as he reads from Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Caine's raw emotion in this scene was deep, and it turns out that his tears weren't even part of the script. He later shared that they came straight from his heart.
I failed you. You trusted me.
Caine was 72 years old when Batman Begins came out. He'd been acting in films since 1956. Now, many actors his age would not get such big roles, especially in a popular series. But the trilogy changed his career. It made him a key part of a global franchise loved by millions. This became one of the best parts of his career. Number 10. The Great Escaper. This was Michael Caine's final role on the big screen. At 90 years old, he starred in the 2023 movie The Great Escaper. He played Bernie Jordan, a 90-year-old World War II veteran. The story's about Bernie sneaking out of his care home to go to the 70th anniversary D-Day commemoration in France. Critics loved Caine's performance. He would show Bernie's charm, vulnerability, and the deep emotions from his past.
Soon as we've had some grub, I'll take you for a spin along the front. When we get back, we'll play a bit of whist.
Caine revealed that he chose this script because he felt it was the perfect story to conclude his extraordinary acting career. He explained that retiring after this performance felt right to him. The role of Bernie allowed him to step into a character who faced the ghost of his wartime past. Scenes where Bernie confronts his PTSD and war guilt showcase Caine's unparalleled ability to express emotional depth without exaggeration. One of the highlights of the film was Caine's chemistry with his co-star and close friend, Glenda Jackson, who played Bernie's wife, Renee. Jackson's character stays at the care home while her husband's escape is shown on the news. The bond between Caine and Jackson felt natural and genuine. It would show the love and understanding of a long marriage. Sadly, though, this was Jackson's final role before she passed away in June 2023. The Great Escaper, directed by Oliver Parker, is not about big action or fancy effects. Instead, it focuses on the life of one man and an important week he remembers. Caine's acting fits the tone of the movie perfectly. The story is touching and makes you think about memory, aging, and what truly matters.
I want to go home and see my girl.
Plus ça change,
In the movie's closing scenes, Bernie stands on the beaches of Normandy, where he once landed as a young soldier. This moment feels like Caine is saying goodbye to his acting career. With this role, Caine ends his time in film with honesty and grace, just like he began. After putting together this top 10 list, we realized that there's still so many amazing performances that deserve to be noticed. These performances are just as important and could easily inspire another video like this one. The Ipcris File, 1965. Sidney J. Fury's Cold War spy thriller introduced us to Harry Palmer, a unique kind of secret agent. This was the first of 3 Harry Palmer movies that Caine starred in during the 60s and 70s. Unlike James Bond, Palmer was cast as a working-class character, giving him a down-to-earth quality that stood out. The role was key in shaping Caine's on-screen identity during the 60s, alongside Alfie and Zulu. Sleuth, 1972. In Joseph L. Mankiewicz's film, most scenes feature only 2 actors. Caine stars with the great Laurence Olivier. Both actors perform brilliantly. They were both nominated at the Oscars for Best Actor. It was the first time 2 lead actors from a 2-person film were nominated in the same category. California Suite, 1978. Herbert Ross directed this comedy written by Neil Simon. Michael Caine plays Sidney Cochran, a quiet English antique dealer, and he's married to Maggie Smith's character, an actress. This would be one of Caine's most controlled performances of the 70s. Mona Lisa, 1986. Neil Jordan directed this neo-noir drama set in London. Caine plays Mortwell, a gang boss. His character's dark and manipulative. He forces Bob Hoskins' character, an ex-con, into the main story. This role showed some of that tough edge Caine displayed in Get Carter. The Quiet American, 2002. Directed by Philip Noyce, this movie was based on Graham Greene's famous novel. Caine takes on the role of Thomas Fowler, a British journalist residing in 1950s Saigon. His acting in the film was so remarkable that it earned him his 4th Oscar nomination for Best Actor. However, that award did go to Adrian Brody for his performance in The Pianist, Children of Men, 2006. Alfonso Cuarón's dystopian thriller, Caine plays Jasper, a former political cartoonist who now lives off the grid. His performance is warm and full of humanity, and many critics thought it was one of the most underrated roles of the year. Sleuth, 2007. Kenneth Branagh directed this remake of the 1972 film, where Caine played Milo Tyndall in the original and now takes on the role of Andrew Wyke, which was originally played by Laurence Olivier. Jude Law plays Tyndall in this version, creating an interesting shift in roles for Caine. Youth, 2015. Paolo Sorrentino's Italian drama. Caine plays a retired classical composer and conductor in his early 80s at an alpine spa. A meditative late career lead about aging, regret, and music. Going in Style, 2017. Zach Braff's comedy brought together Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, and Alan Arkin as 3 retired friends who decide to rob a bank. The film gives Caine a chance to share a fun comedic role alongside 2 legendary actors. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thanks for sticking with us, and let us know in the comments which actor you want us to cover next. Subscribe if you're new and press that bell icon so you know when we upload our next video.